All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about geo-targeting or location targeting. Now, I don't like to use this phrase too much because I feel like it is overused, but in AdWords, it really is all about location, location, location. You have to understand where your customers are, and you can get that information from your analytics platform. If you're using Google Analytics, there's tons of other tools that you can use to understand where they are. If you're a local business, you have a pretty good idea about where your customers are. Then you have to find out where they are. Like I said, tons of tools to do that. Google Analytics is a great tool. And then finding the right customers. Just because you are in, say you're targeting people in the Orlando area, or we'll use a different example, in the New York City area, there's millions and millions of people that live in New York City. So you have to find which of those customers are your customers, or are customers that will actually buy your product or come to your store or purchase something that you have to sell. So making sure that you're finding the right customers and then target your ads to them. You don't want to be wasting money on these customers that are not going to turn into revenue eventually. So the first option that you can choose is target by country. Actually, a step above that, you can target the entire world, which for some companies that is the right answer. That does work well for them. But for the most part, you're going to be wanting to target at least by country or multiple countries. And you can select that, and you can go into Google Analytics and see which countries, if you are selling, like say if you are an e-commerce company and you're only shipping to certain countries, you're going to want to only target those countries, because obviously if you're not shipping to another country, they're not going to buy a product from your website. Adding multiple countries is ideal for hospitality. Customers from several countries book rooms at a hotel or resort. If somebody from Paris is coming to New York City, an ad targeting people in Paris would be a good idea. You can pull some data from your analytics platform and see, hey, where are some of the areas that customers are coming to us a lot from? Instead of targeting the whole world, maybe you see that a lot of people are coming from either London, Paris, or Shanghai, and those are the areas that you decide to target. Next, e-commerce. If you sell and ship products to other countries, you want to make sure that you're targeting them. And subsequently, if you're not shipping to a country, you don't want to be serving your ads there. A service. If you're serving something like web design, consulting, if you're a software as a service company, where it doesn't really matter what location they're in, then you can target the whole world or multiple countries. Then content. If your content can be consumed by readers and watchers in several countries, then that's fine as well. And one other thing to keep in mind is if you are targeting the entire world, you can target even by language too. So you're going after anybody in the world that speaks English, so that they actually can see and comprehend, or understand your ads. If you have multiple, or if you want to go after multiple languages, you can make sure to get those ads translated, because they will be displayed in that language that the user has their browser set to. Then targeting within a country. I think this image might be a little pixelated, but if you want to go after a region, a DMA, or cities and zip codes, you can do that. So within New York, there's obviously several other areas, even within New York City, that you can specify, or as close down or as granular as zip codes. You can also add multiple locations. So going back to the Orlando example, if maybe you have multiple locations in Tampa, Miami, Jacksonville, and Orlando, you can add all of those locations. It doesn't just have to be, you don't just have to choose one and stick with it. So multiple locations, who is it ideal for? Companies with multiple physical locations. Obviously, say if you're Olive Garden and you have restaurants all over the country, you want to target a radius around those locations. And then if you're an e-commerce company that have a majority of clients from a few areas or regions. So I use the New York Knicks. That actually might not be the best example, because the New York Knicks have a pretty wide fan base. But let's say something more regional, like for those of you in the United States, the University of Georgia Bulldogs. If there's probably going to be a better chance of somebody buying that type of collegiate gear closer to the school, which is in Athens, Georgia, rather than somebody all the way out in Seattle, Washington. So if you're selling location-specific type clothing, another great example would be for skiing gear. Most of the time, you're going to see a lot more skiing gear being purchased in areas that actually have snow and actually have ski resorts than in, say, Orlando, Florida. Then targeting within a radius. So this is a great opportunity for local companies. If you click the advanced search button, it will drop down the radius and it will actually display the dot that you've selected, that's the central location, and then show you the radius. So if you are a local company, you have a general sense of what these other cities are and what you want to encompass. You can see that Conway, most of you aren't going to be familiar with Conway, but somebody living in Orlando knows that Conway, if I'm a company, okay, yeah, I do want to target people in Conway, but all the way out there in Dr. Phillips, probably not highly likely that they're going to come to our location because there's other locations that are closer to them. So visualizing that radius and area helps. And then target customers likely to drive to locations, target customers at an event, say. So if you're at a concert, you can go even smaller down, maybe just a mile, to say if you have a hotel and you're offering a sale to people at a concert, something like that. Or target locations with potential event, targeting airport goers with hotels, if maybe they're stuck for a layover or something along those lines might be a cool campaign to run. And then other location options, you can bulk upload. If you want to, you can just copy paste a bunch of locations. You can upload Excel files. You can target location extension targeting, which is something we'll get into a little bit later. But that wraps up the geo-targeting lesson.